Hello, friends. My name is Maximus, and I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 65th episode of Casters and Cantrips, where some of your favorite streamers play Dungeons and Dragons live on Friday nights. I'm joined by the amazing cast of Bunny Dreadful, Mac and Cheese Please, Virtual Spectre, and Moobs Like Jagger from the GG and crew.
Thank
and
you.
in case you all were wondering, we were talking about getting manicures and pedicures.
In
before
the theme
stream.
of our
Show 'em your nails.
characters, way to
Yeah.
bury the
Oh, yeah.
lead.
I painted my
yeah.
nails all pretty, and they're fabulous.
What's the DM's theme for nails?
Black.
Or like death, like
Just
blood, you know?
skulls.
Because
It
you
could be
gotta kill us.
like a bunch of
Number
beholder
one.
eyeballs. That'd be cool.
One's on one hand and 20's on the other.
Ooh.
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 Gotcha.
Have it on the
That.
thumb, like a little, yeah.
No, the
Fun.
party nail, not the thumb. The thumb.
What's the
party
party
nail?
nail?
This is the party
Accent
nail.
nail, Max.
Oh,
Accent
okay.
nail.
Okay.
You
What's
know
the-
this.
What does
Yes.
that mean?
Well, do you want to know what it literally means, or?
Oh, you mean like
Yes.
Like-
Don't say that on stream.
nose candy? Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, remember to do donuts and not drugs, everyone who's
Right.
listening.
I thought it was the pinky. No.
I think it's both.
Okay.
Well,
I guess it could be whatever you want it to be.
That's true.
Powdered donuts. Yes.
We don't know anything.
Yeah. So a couple things besides donuts and candy. Our podcast, we were well on our way to 1,700 now. So thank you all for listening to the podcast. If you're listening now, which is in the future, but I'm in the past, I appreciate you.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I do 17 with fingers. That it?
I don't know.
Yes.
That looks like. Mm-mm.
I'll
Yeah.
stop.
No, I don't. I don't even want to try the numbies with fingers. But anyway, so thank you all for listening to the podcast. If you don't, if you don't listen to it or don't know where to find it, I have good news for you. Is you can just go to castesandcantrips.com and then you can find everything that you could ever want in that website. We've got our podcasts, we've got our social medias out there, we've got access to our Patreon. So if you are a patron, you can get the podcast early as well as the VODs early if you want the full video experience. Or you can help me make an NPC, which there's still one in the world left from one of our patrons. They will be coming in at a time. But anyway, cool things on the horizon as well. Keep an eye out for some potentially new merch coming. As well as some new Patreon things coming. Just keep an eye out for all the things because things are happening. And also to put in your little your schedules, your calendars. There's no CNC episode on the 30th or the 7th. So 2 weeks in a row we're not going to be here, and I'm sorry, but it has to be that way because that's the way it is. Bud and I have to move. So
Yeah. Oh my god.
Sorry, friends.
sorry we have to move.
Maybe if we figure out how to do reruns.
That'd be
It's
great.
fine. We'll figure it out.
That's a conversation
if-
for another time.
What
Mhm.
if we just put, like, we'll be moved, we just won't be unpacked. What if we unpack the camera first and I just put it pointing at like a donut and we just stream that for like 4 hours?
You're
Would
assuming that our
any-
stuff's gonna get there because it could take all the way
Would-
till October
I will
10th.
put the camera in my purse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it's just a donut that I will eat after the stream. I'll eat it on stream if people sub. I mean, I got no qualms. Just throw
Oh,
that
wow.
out there.
Donut stream.
I'm down. I love donuts.
I do too, but oh god, I can't have any. I've been doing so well.
Yeah. I'll make us some sugar-free donuts sometime.
Anyone knows
After
a
a bit.
bakery who makes D&D themed donuts and wants to sponsor Casters and Cantrips? We're
What?
here. Hi.
Great would that be?
Everything. We need to. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is if things really pop off and like y'all keep watching or listening to the podcast and like we're just like popping off, you know, we can have an event at a con, like a Twitch con or something, where
Oh my
we
God,
have a
that'd be great.
meetup and then we have custom cookies with our casters and cantrips like candied
And no
on there.
drugs.
Yo, I know a cookie squad brigade people. They
Okay.
can hook that up.
Girl
You
Scouts?
heard it, folks. Invite your friends, because if we can get enough money to go to cons, we will be there with cookies.
Views equals cookies,
For you.
everyone. You heard it here first.
Did we make this
Invite your
happen?
friends, invite your coworkers, tell them it's a cool D&D show with
Invite-
a bunch of nerds.
Invite your mom, invite your
Your
grandparents.
mom. Hey, your mom watches sometimes. It's fine.
Mhm.
I don't think
tell
she
your
knows what's
neighbor.
happening.
No, she doesn't.
You've
But that's
never
okay.
spoken to your neighbor before. This is the greatest
This
opportunity.
is what a good opening.
Tell Jim and Nancy at the office to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch at work. Like, you got nothing better to
Um,
do.
Buy like some
Workout
more
buddy?
computers and set them up, and then your pets could watch in their own accounts. You have to make them their own Twitch accounts
And their own IP. So
and their own IPs. Yeah. Get on that.
we'll see what
Your
happens.
pet deserves their own internet connection, I guess.
They
Oh
do.
Come on. What do you expect your pets to live?
my gosh.
Yeah, they have to be on
Wi-Fi?
Instagram. Jeez.
Yeah, you think those dogs with
Places to be.
Instagram just get on there magically? No.
Anyway, thanks for watching our show. I hope that you have a good time here. But anyway, if this is your first time here, or if you just forgot, we do not have any fancy sound effects for follows and things, but we do see them in the chat and we see them in our hearts, and we thank you for all the follows and the subs and the Patreon patrons. All those little things show up and we see them and we love you for them. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get ready for tonight's episode of Casters and Cantrips. Our story last left off with Sweet Justice making their way back to the guild house in Tustin for the Order of Iberus. They spoke with the leader, Taryn Van, and he informed the group that the guild was slowly building back up and getting contracts once again. He also delivered a message to Vin from Ozora, the magical tattoo artist from Isgarth. Ozora informed Vin that the tattoo she was requesting was currently beyond her means. However, she did direct the party to her teacher. He was an elf named Tragan Sadak, who lived in the city of Fourcross. The party paid up their guild dues and spent the night in Tustin before leaving for Fourcross the following morning. During the journey, Ron received another strange dream. He was in a dark, dense forest in the dead of winter. There was a chamber made entirely of trees, brambles, and thorns, all coming together in a dome shape. He saw Vin appear outside the chamber and waltz inside. Inside this chamber, the Herald of the Grove, wearing all black armor, was seated on a throne of thorns, wielding a large, gnarled flail. After a short exchange, Vin told the knight that she could tell them where to find someone else that they hated besides her. Vin then walked up to the knight and whispered something in their ear. The knight then tore a hole through the fabric of reality and stepped inside, vanishing from the dream. Ron then awakened the next morning. The group then finally made their way to Fourcross. They sought out a local tavern to find information on this tattoo artist. And they were pointed in the direction of a seemingly abandoned home near the trees. There they met with the Shadar Kai elf named Tragan Sadak. After some negotiation, Tragan agreed to give Vin the magical powers that she desired. However, the tattoo would require the ashes of a true vampire, and Tragan's price was a memory that Vin holds dear. After an agreement had been made, the party sailed on the Canamus Sea to the Onyx Spire to meet with the Lich, Ophiar Zasim, in hopes of getting some much needed answers to their many questions. And where we left off last time, you are standing before the Onyx Spire, the entryway opened by the apprentice to Ophiar Zasim. As you look across the barren landscape of rough ground, stones, sand, almost no vegetation whatsoever, you see inside this long, dark hallway, very faintly lit, and it seems to go on forever, almost defying reality, as you know that this spire is at most 50 feet across on each side, but this hallway seems to go on for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. The apprentice beckons you inside. What do you do?
We follow. Falcon's
So
going
is
to be lagging roughly 10 feet behind everybody else, I think.
And he beckons you all inside and waits for you, Valken, and then as he enters the door, you could say closes, but almost reforms into that rough-hewn black stone behind you, leaving only the dimly lit hallway in front of you. And he leads on, and it seems as though you walk 100, 200, 300 feet of nothingness, an empty hallway with faint magical sconces at irregular intervals.
Quite the tower you have here.
The master has taken extra care in its security and majesty.
So pretty cool architecture. What style would you say this is? Pre-Raphaelite?
The style is whatever the genius that my master has decided it to be.
So you're a big fan. Sounds like.
He's the greatest wizard the world has ever known.
Oh.
It will be wise to be respectful.
Bryn, maybe you can learn something from him. He's a wizard.
I'm not bragging because I am just the beginning, but I am learning some of the art of wizardry myself.
I got a question.
Yes.
Well, what if we have to use the... Is there like a little boys' room or...
Should you require to relieve yourself for any other needs of mortal bodies, then you can ask me and I shall direct you in the correct place to do so.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure since everybody's dead. If that was a thing you had.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
I am not dead. Yet.
You're very much alive.
Indeed.
Please continue.
And he leads you on, and there's not a turn. There's not veering off. There are no rooms until this hallway seems to come to an end, and it opens up into a almost octagonally shaped room, and it's maybe what you would think to be as big as the entire spire's width would be in this one room. And there are steps up to a pedestal, and there are some arcane runes drawn upon the ground.
Do you recognize these runes?
Let me take a look. Do I recognize these runes?
Make an Arcana check for those of you that are interested.
Would Vin know about runes, or is that like because
I use the term runes loosely, not like a rune crafting is what Bryn is known for doing, but almost just like the necessary like archaic script or arcane scripts to create some sort of spell or something on the ground.
okay.
So not
18.
runes. What was that?
18.
This is most certainly some sort of summoning circle, teleportation circle.
Oh ho ho.
I have a 21.
Yep, you would most definitely know that this is a permanent teleportation circle.
Oh, Bryn, you should remember these runes.
You would know with a 21 that there's a spell known as teleportation circle that would allow you to draw a circle on the ground with sigils, the word I was looking for earlier.
Pretty
create
sure
this-
I could learn this.
I can learn this too.
Oh, one of us should definitely learn this. But I'm afraid it is maybe a bit, how do you say, advanced? Yeah. And maybe too early for me to learn this spell. I am still a little wizard.
Well, I can learn it, but I never really took the time because see, when you teleport with these types of like runes, like the word that we said, they you can only teleport to those locations, so you have to know where more of them are on the world, and we've never seen these. So I never bothered to learn this one because it
Well,
didn't
now we
seem
know
like
one.
this is a place you want to come back
Wait,
to.
can you already learn it? I think that is sort of like, how do you say, like a this level spell. It is very advanced.
No, I think I could have learned it like 2 times. I think.
Are you serious? What level are you? I do not understand.
So one thing that you would know, Vin, from this is that in order to create one of these circles permanently, with your incredible 21 roll, is that someone has to cast that same spell every single day for a year in this same spot for it to be permanent.
Gotcha.
Bryn, you would also surmise that since you are a low level of the Arcanist assemblage, there are probably some of these in key locations that they have chosen as well. You've just never seen any or asked about them.
Potentially at every major city, there might be one if the Arcanist assemblage has a presence.
Essentially, it would make sense.
I think I might have to learn this spell because if I can get in good with Arcanist assemblage, I could teleport there. I could teleport here to say hello to our very gracious host. I could also potentially teleport some places throughout the world. Who knows? Maybe even Salon. I'm watching the dude that's leading us when I say that. Insight check.
He stares at you. He's just waiting for you guys to finish.
Okay, I am just, you know,
Apologies.
just a thought.
Come with me. And he steps inside the circle and beckons you all inside.
Wait.
Very strange that he's got his hood up and you're seeing the lower half of his face, and he's just sort of a diminutive sort of man, very thin.
The
But
Liches?
no, this is you haven't seen the Lich yet. This is his apprentice.
Another person.
This is the one who brought you in the boat.
Wait,
Who had a skeleton crew.
Before we leave Valken, do you still need to relieve yourself?
I think I can hold it.
Okay. Ron steps into the circle.
As soon as everyone steps inside, he begins casting a spell, and you feel sort of almost like you don't travel, but the world travels around you. Where it seems as though you're standing still, and then the world rotates quickly and abruptly and jostles and just stops. And you are in another room. This one has a very sort of roaring fire in a fireplace. There is some seating. This area is very well furnished. Interesting tapestries, paintings, bookshelf full of tomes, as well as scrolls and other manuscripts. And there's also a window on one of the walls. And if you sort of if you peek out of it, you see a sea as far as your eyes can visibly see. Just water. But when you looked outside, there were no windows. There was nothing. It was just stone.
Is it a familiar sea or a sea from another world?
It looks like as you go and inspect the window and you look downward, you appear to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet in the air. And you look down and you see the small island that you recently arrived on.
Cool.
So you're looking out to the Cannabis Sea.
We are very high.
You say that it was like a whole wall was essentially this viewing, or was it like a small window?
A large window, like a window.
Okay.
There are some, like near like a seating area, some refreshments on a small like coffee table. Some small
Like what
cakes,
refreshments?
teas, things of the sort. If you'll excuse me, my master will be arriving any moments now. I must attend to my duties.
Thank you.
And the apprentice sort of bows and then walks out of the doorway and disappears into another hallway as he closes the door behind him.
Let Ron try the tea first.
I was gonna take a little, like a wine glass, but with the tea and sniff in it, and
Sure. Smells like some tea leaves.
take a little dibble.
I'm immune to poisons, so
Yeah, but then you won't know if you get poisoned.
that's true. No, this tea's fine.
The tea's fine.
Okay, tea is good.
I take a sip, but my pinky's out like I'm being fancy and remembering the rules, which is manners, demeanor, and intentions.
And you're left there for a good 15, 20 minutes. So you have time to explore if you would like. Or you can wait patiently.
Are there any portraits or paintings in this room that would we would assume it's OFR?
Difficult to tell since the OFR that you know is a lich with skin hanging off of bones. However, you can see that there are paintings of an assortment of very regal looking individuals, and you can tell by the some of the fashions that very old, very empire-like. There are tapestries depicting battles of otherworldly beings.
When you say otherworldly, like we've never seen this before.
You see what looks to be magic users and heroic knights fighting winged, vile creatures with horns and long nails and fangs and those sorts of things.
Is it like things we've seen before or things that are just like lore?
Never seen. You can make a history check if you'd like.
Sure.
Or
Let's do
nature.
12.
5.
That's a cool painting, Vin. That's real awesome. Ron, you know, just from looking, I'm assuming you did nature.
Yeah.
Whatever they're fighting isn't from this plane. And this, you're not sure if it's an artist's rendition of some sort of whimsical tale or what.
Oh yeah, this is cool.
After 30 minutes goes by, as you're sort of waiting in this study, essentially, the corner of your eye, you happen to see that there's a staircase that didn't used to be there, that winds upward to a floor above. And there, first you see the bottom of some resplendent robes of reds and golds. And you see a figure floating downward, down the staircase. And you recognize that this is Ophiar Zassim. He is looking through a tome, almost paying no mind as to where he's going. He's looking through the tome and flipping through the pages as he's casually gliding down this circular staircase until he makes his way at the bottom, and then he slams the book shut. Yeah. Hope that these sustenance are to your liking. It has been quite some time since I required food or drink.
Oh
It's
yes.
very good. And I'd like.
We are
Yes.
very gracious of your hospitality. It's very good. Great, Zazim.
And he,
And I like curtsy.
he nods ahead to you all. And he floats to the bookcase, slides this book in, and then makes his way and sort of lowers himself onto a nice reading chair. And you can see as he's lowering himself that his feet are just skeletal, bone, hardly any musculature or skin left.
Does he
Yes.
smell?
No.
Okay, just checking.
We thank you for accepting our request. Actually, quite surprising that you allowed us to visit.
It is most gracious of you, sir.
Why do you find this surprising? We both had
Well-
the same goals in mind not too long ago.
I think what he means is that you have sequestered yourself off from the rest of the world, which indicates that you don't want to see anybody, and you're allowing us to be here. So thank you, and I bow.
Very well. We can skip the pleasantries now. What is it that you seek?
Oh, well, we brought you gifts, but we'll just leave it on the table.
Gifts. What gifts?
Oh, this is for you. And I'll hold out the funeral floral arrangement.
And a lemon cake.
A kind gesture. He just looks at it for a moment and then back to you.
So, we have many questions. The first of which, and the main reason why we're here, but we have other questions that are way more important, but this one's important too. If one acquired or needed vampire dust, where would one get that?
Quite a peculiar request. And what are you doing with this vampiric dust?
Well, as you know, you're a very powerful wizard, and I am a measly sorcerer, measly compared to everybody else in this group. I would really love a tattoo that allowed me to not die as easily. Not be able to die, but just, just be a little more beefier. And this tattoo guy, he sent us on a wild goose chase. He was asking us for all this ingredients, and one of which is vampire dust. And we have never in our lives encountered a vampire. And we thought maybe you would be the person, in all your many years and wise knowledge and amazingness, you may or may not have come across this and or have the ingredient on you.
You see is what's left of most of the skin is on his face, as you can sort of see that he has eyeballs and skin for gestures, and he smiles just a bit. So you seek to delay your inevitable death in exchange for more power. You and I are not so different. This is how it starts.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of the same, minus being, different, because you're a wizard and you just can pick something up and learn it, and I only can learn so much. Small brain, so. But
You are much more than you realize.
huh? I am? Well, I mean, I only know a little bit compared to everybody else, so what do you mean I'm more than I realize?
You will know more in time. I assume that you know your heritage by now.
Yes. It's been given to me in pieces, memories, to be exact. And, well, there's actually, hold on. First off, sir, as I bow, that question wasn't answered, and we have other questions, and I don't want to goose tail or duck tail into, or dovetail. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go down.
What are you trying to say?
Well, and I whispered to Brandon, I'm like, I can ask him about the Baron right now, but all the memory thing, but I feel like he didn't answer the first question, so I'm trying to get the first question answered before we start asking other questions.
I mean, you don't want to really push your luck, you know what I mean? Unless you're going to offer something in exchange.
I may have some questions of my own. Of you all. Perhaps a bit of quid pro quo.
It is only fair.
What is this? Quid bobo?
It's quite simple. You may ask something of me, when I ask something of you. A mutual exchange of information.
So, a question for a question?
Indeed.
Oh, yes, then let us continue with the quid bobo.
Quid pro quo.
Do you want a minute for some of the tea? You're sounding a little We could.
I like kick Bryn.
But I
In the
just think we
foot.
don't have to jump right into questions. There is tea. I have some honey we could add to it. No? Okay.
His eyes narrow at you.
Mm,
I
I
am
would be very
100%
careful,
being
Bryn.
genuine.
Perhaps you are ignorant, or perhaps you are insulting me in my own tower.
No, I'm just. I'm
what
not
the
good with people.
what
It's really all
Bryn-
it is.
means to say is, since we are your guests, you may ask the first question.
I'll answer your question, Ben. It's vampires you seek.
Or if you already have the ingredient on hand, that would be much easier.
I do not
Oh.
make a habit of going out of my way to destroy vampires. They are quite dangerous, you see.
This is true.
Yeah, I understand they're dangerous. Is probably why we've never seen them.
Well, there are a few options. Many vampire lords have already sided with Ceylon. Perhaps you could sail to Melnith. If you are to survive the journey, there are many creatures of undeath there, perhaps vampires. Perhaps you could go to the frozen wastes north of Gordek and its mountains. For there are rumors and myths of an entire fortress of undeath. However, I fear that you would not survive either journey.
Is there a third
Perhaps
option?
there is rumor of an old lord of Leafside in your Vantis kingdom that has gone, well, believed to have died many, many years ago, with no heir to their manor as it sits decrepit and rotting. However, it is of note that on occasion travelers to Leafside arrive, but do not leave the town. If I were you, and he sort of looks at you up and down, and your lacking abilities, that would be the direction I would go.
You said Lord of Leafside? And Vantis. Okay, I'm just writing
What was
this.
the first place you said?
Melnith.
He said there are
Melnith?
many vampire lords that have sided with Ceylon.
Yeah,
And that
what
there
was
are creatures of undeath that are in Melnith.
the other one was Frozen Wastes. Okay.
Yeah, Gordic Mountains.
The frozen wastes far north of Gordek.
Leafside's just south of Isgar.
So, as far as you know, Valken, it's a little like farming town.
I curtsy and I say
Where
thank
was
you.
it?
Lord of
Forest-
Leafside, south of Icegarth. I think is what?
It's on the map.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking for it. Thank you. Oh. Sorry, I think we're all just taking notes and like looking at the map.
That's okay.
Can you pull up the map for chat so they can see?
That's what I'm doing right now because I forgot to do it
Thanks.
earlier.
Thanks. Don't worry, chat. I got you. We got
I
you.
forgot to pull up the chat map, so we'll show you where Leafside is. It's a
I just
small.
pulled up the old map.
There we go. That should suffice. Leafside. Here, where there is a large forest to the north.
North of New Jersey. That's all you had to say.
I almost said it, but you are here.
It's crazy to think that we're closer to Salon than we are to Isgarth, but our chances of getting to Isgarth are like 1,000 times better. Wild.
I spelled Isgarth wrong. With an I.
And he sort of pauses and looks sort of like something catches his attention. But you guys didn't hear a noise or sound or see anything, and he cocks his head to you, Valken, standing 10 feet away from everyone else.
Falcon is just kind of like been leaned up against the wall, staring at his feet the entire time. Doesn't even notice.
That is an interesting relic that you've brought within my walls, Valken. Where did you get it?
Falcon, you have to respond to him.
My sword?
Yes.
Um, kind of a boring. I bought it.
Interesting. And where did you purchase such a thing?
From somebody that sells things of value. Merchant.
They must not have known what they had.
Yeah, I'm beginning to believe that myself.
I'm sure that you have found that this is much more than a magical sword.
Yep. Kind of talks.
Who resides in that blade?
You know, I've been trying to figure that out, but they're kind of tight-lipped about who they really are.
You must have a name, though. Jezroth.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to tell him though.
Okay.
It has told me. I don't know. It seems dangerous to me, so I don't know what revealing its identity may or may not mean for my own safety. I don't know if you might hate them or they might kill me for telling somebody. I don't know.
If you feel as though you're in such danger, perhaps I could take it off your hands. Cleanse you of its obligations.
What do you mean by cleanse? I have to take some sort of bath, right?
No. He just smiles at you.
So you're clearly interested in it. I don't know if I could let it go. It kind of has a just tied to somebody I've been searching for most of my life now, and it might lead me to said person.
Interesting. Apologize, where are my manners? I believe one of you should be asking me a question.
I'll go. So there's other people that want this sword. Secretive Order of Assassins. Might you know of them, and might you know where they're currently operating from? Silent. What was it? Silent.
You speak of the Silent Hand.
That's the one.
I
Yeah.
assume.
They threatened to. Well, they almost did kill me. They kind of did kill me.
Then you are lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I got very capable companions who helped me out.
They are an organization as old as I. Have been around for many, many centuries. Their allegiances have wavered to whomever suits them. As to where their allegiance is now or where they are operating out of, that is unknown to me. It seems with your encounter they have resurfaced.
Piggybacking on that, would it be reasonable to assume that perhaps, given that Salon seems to be making themselves known, perhaps they could be involved?
It is not a stretch of the imagination for they to align themselves with Ceylon.
Yeah, I appreciate the information. I guess somebody else's turn, or
Then, when given the choice between light and darkness, what will you choose?
Define the circumstances of the choice.
It is just the choice. Do you choose the light, or do you choose darkness?
Is there like a shaded area? Some might call it a gray area between the light and the dark.
You will see soon enough.
I think I walk a fine line in the middle. But these guys,
Well, we will see on which side of the line that you shall fall then.
okay. I mean, it's very situational for me. I mean, if it's my life is at stake and going one way will save it, who knows what I'll do. But
It is much more than your life at stake.
okay, well, yeah, very situational for me. Just putting it out there.
in you'd find out what he means by much more is at stake.
Oh, what do you mean? What much more is at stake?
Is this your question for me?
Falcon, is this the question? Because I feel like we have much more important questions.
I mean, I kind of feel like you should ask
kind
it,
of
though.
important.
I guess.
Seems that way.
Yes, it's the question. I'm gonna like fiddle with my fingers.
Let's say that the fate of an entire plane may rest upon you,
And I'm like looking around the room, like,
and the choices that you make or choose not to make.
you mean them, right? Not me. Ron's the leader of this group. Me?
You are quite important to, well, to someone, something.
Ooh.
Perhaps you reach out to others that are like you, that have come from places that you have come from.
I can read. Wait, you're telling me that I can reach out to people in other dimensions?
I am not assuming your abilities. I am merely giving you a direction.
Bryn, is there any other things I should know about this?
I don't know. Is there anything else you wish to know about this?
There's a lot.
Ron thinks he's talking about the other Vinposters.
But I don't know how to talk to them or
I have a
reach
question.
them.
I have a question. Do you know why the Black Knight is seeking Vin?
Who's the Black Knight? And I like turn to
Don't worry
Bryn.
about it. I didn't ask. No one's talking to you.
What Black Knight is this? You may have to be more specific.
Never mind.
She speaks of one of the heralds of the Grove.
Ah. Indeed. And he looks at you, Vin. I would be very careful if I were you. If one of the heralds of the Grove is hunting you, best be on your guard.
Wait,
Something must be very wrong in their realm to leave and seek you out here.
when did this happen? This is news to me. As far as I know, no one is hunting me. I think that they're just confused.
Ron is very sorry, Vin. Ron had another vision. And other Vinposter visited the Black Knight and possibly told him where we are. So Ron wanted to keep
Also,
secret to protect you.
Sorry, but it seemed really important to ask. I'm sorry. I just like.
But how am I just finding out about this?
I know. I feel the same way.
Ron just wanted to protect you, Vin, and let you enjoy getting tattoo and not worry, but tattoo is now much more complicated. So, which leads to Ron's question. Unless, of course, you, Master Zazim, would wish to answer a question first.
Perhaps. What will you do as a paladin of the Oak Father? Will you protect your friend and defy those that Sylvanas entrusts with his judgment? Or will you side with your god and their wishes?
That is easy question. Ron will protect Vin with his every ounce of life, regardless of what gods or persons or people.
Interesting. Have you lost the faith in those that speak for the Oak Father?
To be honest, Ron knows nothing of these heralds of the Gross until recently, obtaining these visions while Ron sleeps. Ron has done Ron's duty, doing what Ron is told, destroying strange beasts, but there is still much unbalance in this world that Ron has to set right, and if the Oak Father has chosen Ron to do so, and if Ron has chosen to protect Vin, then this is the right choice.
What if your friend is a cause of such imbalance?
The only way is to eliminate the other Vinposters until there is only one, and that will restore balance.
questions you have of me?
And should we ask about the Baron, or are we prying
I
about the
think-
imposters?
We should ask, well, we could ask about imposters, but also I think we should ask about the war in Salon.
What about the war?
Like, what's causing the war? Who's behind it? What, like, clearly there is somebody working behind scenes, and we think it's Salon, but we don't know. He might have seen something.
Maybe.
We're like talking to each other, but not like,
Yellow
I'm not
whisper.
convinced he can't hear us.
Assume he can. You're in a wizard's tower.
I'm assuming he can, so
Hey, Brennan, it's you.
I'm not good at talking to people. Don't make me talk to him. He already doesn't like me.
You
Well,
told him he
Ron's
needed water.
question is, how does Ron kill the Black Knight?
This may seem quite simple. However, kill him before he kills you. They are very powerful beings indeed. Think of your very own weaknesses. If you are cut from the same cloth as they, then perhaps they share some of yours. Perhaps they do not. I have never encountered one of the heralds, as they spend most their time in other planes, as this. The Feywild mostly. Ensure you're well prepared.
Very, very well.
I'll ask the next. Oh, sorry. It is your turn, sir.
You may continue.
Oh, I just thought. Well, we were very worried about the war. There are lots of casualties, and we think that Salon might be behind it. But we are wondering if you have heard anything, and you know who might be behind sort of this power struggle, making these sides angry at each other, sort of situations.
Salon has their own machinations working behind the scenes, their tendrils stretching across the continent. It would not surprise me that they are encouraging this, as it perhaps aligns with some of their plans.
Have you been to Salon before?
I have not, nor will I.
Oh, but I thought they liked wizards there.
They are corrupt in their thirst for power. They are never satisfied. They believe that under their rule things can be better than before.
Do you disagree?
They are blindly following the plans of a flawed leader.
Who's their leader?
I'm surprised you would ask a question, for I think that you would know this. Archmage Zavras.
Can you spell that again?
I will paste it to you.
Thank you. Oh, so this is who Baron Voskril is working for. That wasn't a question. That was a statement.
a fool's errand. Both of them. Holding on to the past, not letting go of what is gone.
Well, if you do not like them either, I shall tell you, it is our plan to find them and to defeat them. They have done us a great many wrongs.
The Baron is still alive and messing with our memories.
Would assume the Baron is in some ways alive, in some ways not. He should have died long ago. He should have stayed dead. Misguided by his devotion to his friends.
We will try to see that he is dead for good.
We very much like to make sure he stays dead.
You think he's like you?
Mountains, scrawling across the continent in the name of some lost love.
Lost love?
Is he undead like you?
He is nothing like me.
Okay.
He is a man.
It's a fair question. If he should be dead.
It seems you have much history with the Baron.
Of course I do. We were all part of the Empire at one time. Zavras, Voskreel, Irune.
Was the last one Irune?
Mhm.
Do we know that name?
Yes, you do. Vin played her in a play.
Yeah, this is from
Oh,
the play.
is she the lost love?
Is Vin the lost love? Wanna know? No.
Do you know, or could you surmise, why they are collecting and stealing people with magic abilities?
Let me tell you the tale of their folly. And he points.
Just like poke at my tea. Relax.
He points at the tapestry that you looked at before of a war between people and otherworldly beings. There was a time when we were called upon to protect this very plane. When demons and undeath threatened the lives of everyone. They knew the risks involved, and they did so anyway. Unfortunately for Irune Alania, she didn't make it back alive, much to the regret of Zavras. He wallowed in his sorrows, waited for his love to return, but she never did. Centuries went by, but no word of the elf returning. I'd like all of you to make a history check. Valken can with advantage.
Okay.
Oh, 15.
8.
20.
9.
Bryn, you would know that there is legend of centuries ago that high elves can choose to go into their afterlife or be reincarnated on the material plane after death.
Okay, and which one was the high elf? Irune?
Irune Alania.
And so the Baron, so you're saying that the Baron thinks she's reincarnated and he's looking for her.
Zavras thinks.
Oh, Zavras is one true love.
Zavras was the one
Zavras.
enamored with Irune Alania and couldn't bear to lose her, but casualties were necessary at defeating that sort of evil.
Was she a princess by chance?
No.
Oh, okay.
Was she...
An arcanist, much as I. And Zavras.
Didn't you think this is why they're kidnapping magic folks, to see if it is her reincarnated?
That's what they believed at first, but as time went by, I would assume that they had given up.
Vin, they probably thought you were her. This is why they made you do the test where you pick the items. They'll probably see if you pick her item.
The one the Baron did?
Yeah, his tuning fork and like a mask and things. One of them was probably her sigil. Do you know, sir, her sigil or symbol for weapon of choice?
Tuning fork.
What do you say it looked like?
Let me give you some backstory, Mr. Lich, and I like bow. So when we all met, there was a bar that the Baron was in, and we all had this exact same thing happen to us where the Baron sat in front of us, laid out some items, we picked an item, and then they were gone, but he weirdly erased this memory from all of us, but it all came back to us because, you know, Brins, Babas, they have some weird kind of magic that allows memories to come back and a whole bunch
They're
of
very
stuff.
old. You might know them. I don't know.
Possibly. And the Babas, they brought back some memories of mine that I didn't really know about and said a bunch of things about me that was kind of weird. Kind of like the things that you said about me, you know, important and all, something along. Anyways, yeah, the Baron is messing with people's minds, and we don't know how or why that's happening. And is that have anything to do with a rune?
And he kidnapped our friend Ixius.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she's
And
possibly
he's
in a bag
holding them in
somewhere.
sort of a dark place in the other dimension situation.
The power to modify memories is a power known to most powerful spellcasters. In fact, I could do it now if I wanted.
No, please
But
don't.
I shall refrain. I would assume they are looking for Irune, or they were for some time, but now the world is in balance. To answer your question earlier, or to correct you, not a fork, it was tuned to this very realm, and she wore this around her neck as a way for us to get back to this plane of existence as we battled those back demons and undead. When she gasped her last breath of air and was captured and taken, I took the fork from her neck, so we would not be trapped there forever.
So
Question.
Vin chose the correct object.
Well, she took the mask.
Took the mask, yeah.
So, question. If you, let's say you are one of these elves that can reincarnate is another person, but if you die in another plane, can you still reincarnate on your original plane, or do you have to reincarnate on that plane?
That is the question. I believe someone is holding her soul. And if her soul is being held somewhere else, then she would not be able to come back.
Who would be holding a soul? Someone in that other dimension that you fought?
That is quite interesting, because I believed that when we destroyed his wand, that his power would be diminished. Do you know of whom I speak?
No.
Interesting indeed.
Can I make a history check to see if I'm like piecing anything together?
Go for
here?
it.
I rolled a 2.
2. No idea.
Falcon pipes up from the wall where he's still standing. Does this dude have a name?
Some call him the Blood Lord.
The Blood Lord. Did you
The
pick that to name
Demon Prince
himself?
of Undeath.
Sweet.
That's a very
So-
fancy title.
Is he a vampire?
Indeed. No.
Oh.
Is he
But
worse
he
than
could
vampire?
bend vampires to his will as easily as snapping his fingers.
So, pardon me, by the way. You asked about my sword earlier and asked about the being inside the sword.
Indeed.
I feel like now I should probably reveal its name just in case it's
Demon Prince of Undeath?
said, yeah, in case it's this guy.
And what is their name?
Ezroth?
You, the Blood Lord would not be contained in such an item as yours.
That's good to know.
You but have a lowly servant.
Servant of the Demon Prince of Undeath. Or just a servant of somebody else.
Someone else.
But a demon nonetheless?
Indeed.
Wow.
Oh. This is...
I have
Is
an
anybody else getting chills while we talk about this? I'm getting chills.
I mean, they definitely seem like a shady character. A fun little question that's not like an important question. If you and this Jezroth were to have a one-on-one fight, who would win?
What do you think?
If
Your measly demon was able to be trapped in a mundane blade.
no offense, it was more of a fun little what-if scenario. Like, if this person was to fight an elder dragon, who would win? Something you would put money on, lighten up the... I feel like we're getting pretty serious here.
You all can make history checks knowing the names that he gave this person.
Jezroth?
Oh,
Not Jezroth.
Oh, the Demon Lord?
nicknames.
Ron got a 17.
16.
What is it? History? 23. Bryn is good at history.
Got a 10.
I read a lot of books, a lot of really old, dusty books.
Valken, a 10. Pretty cool nickname. Must be a pretty gnarly dude.
I was thinking.
Ron and Vin. A demon prince of undeath. You know that there are lords that are over entire demons areas of their own. Vin. The demon prince of undeath, the blood lord, is better known as Orcus.
Yes, knows that name.
I was gonna say, Bun Bun knows that name.
Wait, is that the name of your sword?
No, it's a D&D. We're just nerds, so we know it.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do you know? I'm like,
We're
don't know any game
nerding out
necessarily.
right now.
you're making sounds that I'm like,
Sorry, it's just a big name. So
Don't know details, I just know the name.
never heard of it.
yeah, same. Well, I
Don't
know
know
some
her.
details. Did I know anything with 2023?
Orcus takes pleasure in suffering. Suffering's the living. He prefers the service of the undead, even though he is a demon lord. His one desire is to see that all life is quenched and that the entire multiverse is transformed into a vast necropolis populated solely by the undead.
Cool.
Sounds kind of boring.
He's like the D&D, like, I don't know, he's like pretty bad as far as the Pantheon goes, right? He's like the bad one. Right?
He's not in a pantheon. He's not a god. He is a demon lord.
I'd say that's what he wants is pretty bad.
You also know that Orcus wields something that's called the Wand of Orcus. It's a legendary weapon that is less of a wand and more sort of ghastly device made of bone, skull, and such.
You said you destroyed Orcus wand?
Tempted. We merely, I fear, inconvenienced him. For there is always a Wand of Orcus. It's whether or not he has found it again. I'm assuming not. Which surprises me is that if Orcus is still in his own plane, then why did the dead start rising on the battlefield? This is undoubtedly the work of Salon, but why?
And this is the answer you still seek?
Indeed.
It seems our goals are aligned. To stop Salon.
I fear to know what Zavras will do now, knowing that his love isn't coming back to him. Maybe he will try to go back and retrieve her. Maybe he'll try to free her soul. Perhaps he'll take even more drastic measures.
I'm not a magic person. I don't know the ins and outs of all these sorts of things, but could it be possible they've already sort of been experimenting on ways to go back, and that's why maybe some powers leaking into this realm, causing the dead
Oh
to
yeah,
rise up?
yeah. Yeah, it's not me. It's what he said.
Or someone who self-proclaimed not the arcane. That is quite an astute observation.
Hey, I might look a little dumb, but I have some ideas.
It is unclear to me which is the cause and what is the effect. Perhaps the world is out of balance and that has given them an opening. Perhaps their experimentation has caused this world to be unbalanced. Either could be true.
Suppose that leads me to ask, do they not know that you're still around? Are they not worried that you might step up and stop their plans? Is that not something you're even interested in?
While I am powerful, it is quite another thing to go against an entire bastion of arcanists, soldiers.
Fair enough.
I merely seek information now. The more I know, the more prepared that I can be. For if their plan is to go back, pierce the veil, strike some sort of deal with the Bloodlord. I would fear that his reach could ensnare me, and that cannot happen.
I mean, if they do that, he could probably ensnare much more than just you, I assume.
Well,
Everyone would be at risk.
Everyone would be at risk, but since he is the commander of undead, I see that I am at more risk.
Oh, I see.
Having a powerful lich under his command would not bode well for this world.
Oh, shit. Well, maybe the souls that we have to find the Baron, and we have to find this Zavras, and we have to put an end to this once and for all.
It's like we said, we seem to have the same goals in mind. Maybe a working relationship? I can't believe I'm saying this.
What is your offer exactly?
Oh, or just you give us information, we will keep working towards the same cause. It's more of a just like we are the enemy of your randomly encountered lich person is your enemy. I think I messed it up. Anyways,
My enemy is my friend. Is that it?
yes, enemy of my enemy is my friend, and thus we are friends. And if you would wish it, we would be happy to try to help take down their plans so as you are not to be controlled by the Bloodlord.
And for the record, you were our friend when you saved our lives in that field, not when we
Yes.
just found out that our enemy is the same. And I curtsy.
Yes.
So, a sort of loose confederation, an accord, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, alliance.
And the more we learn,
Unless you want to join Sweet Justice, we are an adventuring group. Vin, please.
Oh yeah,
hand
you
them-
could come with us. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Vin.
and I dig in my bosoms, and I hand him a business card.
He doesn't reach out to take it.
I'll leave it right here by the cake.
Well, first step, we are trying to find our friend Dixius. If you could help us find her, hopefully that would at least be one small point in our favor and one less point for the Baron.
Your friend Ixius is being held by Salon, then I would venture to say that if I were to hold one of an arcanist of minimal power, I would put them in a place where their magic didn't meant for nothing.
That sounds right.
Sort of a demi-plane of some sort.
How do we find them if that's where they are?
is there some kind of spell that one of my talented compatriots could use in order to locate this person?
Yeah, is there a way to find the demi-plane? Which one?
I fear that you would have to go and find the doorway.
Oh, but there
Oh.
would be a physical doorway somewhere for them to be using
Something
this as a
connecting
prison.
the realms.
Interesting. So it's probably in Salon. Do you know how to get into Salon without being, immediately killed, so to say?
An interesting question. Suppose that you could attempt to cross northward, across the Scar, across the continent. But I fear you wouldn't make it across. And even if you did, you would die in the desolate deserts surrounding.
Well, ignoring all that, if we could get there, we know that they're not just going to let us in. That is my biggest concern.
You could go north through the Crag Pass, but careful of the denizen who calls it their home.
Oh, it's a dragon, right?
Quite an old dragon.
Old or like ancient? How old are we talking?
I've not spoken to them, so I cannot be certain. You
By
could
boat
sail
seems
across the
not an
seas
option.
and find your way lost, shipwrecked on their shore perhaps, captured by their soldiers.
Have you been there to Salon? Did I ask him that already?
I would not
Did,
step
yeah.
foot there.
Okay, I did ask that. Well, if you were going to pick one of these routes, which one would you take? Just, hypothetical situation.
I do not require sustenance. I do not require food or drink. It would be easy for me to cross a desert.
Take the
Any
lemon cake and
creatures
put it
that
back in my
stood
pocket.
any creatures that would oppose me would be lacking.
What sort of creatures are there in the desert? Just so we can be prepared.
Vampires?
Oh. You already told us where they are.
I know, I'm just trying to kill two birds with one stone.
I know.
I suppose you'll just have to find out.
I have an easy question. We noticed you had a very handy teleportation circle downstairs. Or was it outside this room? Anyways. If I were to learn the spell to utilize such circle, would it bother you very much if we were to use it on our travels? We'll be very quiet passing through, you know what I mean? And we would be happy to share any information we had as payment.
Where would you be passing through to?
I'm just saying, let's say we go all the way to the salon, we find Ixius, we need sort of quick escape. Bam bam pow, I get us right back here.
Granted. However,
Much appreciated.
do not arrive unannounced.
Understood. It is
It
only
may
polite.
take time for my guardians and protectors to make way for you.
How far advanced are we talking? Like 5 minutes? 1 hour? 2 days?
An hour if you can spare it.
Understood. Many thanks. Many thanks.
Another requirement for our loose alliance. If and when we topple their little magical empire, I will be taking control of their artifacts, their tomes, their scrolls, their manuscripts.
Sure. What are you gonna do with all that?
Research.
Oh. What, like,
He does have quite a collection.
what research for what? Like you writing a book?
If you have doubles, could we have some?
Oh yeah, if there's stuff you don't want, like you could just, give us like your rejects,
If they are left there, then they are not important to me.
Understood. We get whatever's left.
Wait, did we learned about the Baron's leader, but did we learn about who the Baron is or why he's doing what he's doing? And,
mostly.
is there any way to protect our memories?
Oscriel is quite close to Irune Elania as well as Zasim to Zavras. We knew each other quite well, so I'm certain that he is misguided on a quest for love and honor to bring her back from her uncertain fate.
Oscriel's a baron?
Yeah, we knew that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You have some blind loyalty to Zavras. It appears that they will do whatever it takes to get their friend back.
That's ridiculous. They're killing countless people just to get one person back.
What would you do, Bryn, to save the ones you love?
Not kill innocent people. Like, sorry, Ron, I love you very much more than anyone else in the world, but I'm not killing innocent people for you. I'm not killing innocent people for you either, Vin.
Oh, okay.
Would you do it for me?
No,
Okay.
it is not happening. There
And
is
how
no one in this
many
world I
people-
kill innocent people for.
How many people would it require? Would you trade one life for the life of your friends? 2, 10,
I said 0.
500?
0 lives. I would trade 0 lives for the lives of my friends. They are innocent
Interesting.
lives. They are not for trade. I will be sad. I will grieve, and I will hope that they have afterlife with the gods and the happiness of their choosing. I will hope that Ron gets to see his family again, and I will think of him every day, but I will not for 1 minute entertain the idea of trading an innocent life. That is not how it is done.
What about you, Vin? What would you trade? What would you wager to protect the ones you love?
I don't know.
One person you've never met. Perhaps they're good, perhaps they're evil. But if they die, you were able to save one of your friends.
Wait,
Don't do it for me. I would not want that.
someone random would die to save a friend?
Or perhaps the one that created you.
My mom? Wait, you're telling me I have to kill my mom or my friends?
No, I'm saying an innocent life to finally meet them. One person you'll never meet
Maybe.
that will be
Yeah.
long forgotten.
I mean, if they were bad, probably.
What of you, Ron? What lengths would you go to protect your precious Vin?
Ron would sacrifice his own life.
What of the lives of others?
No. Ron's purpose is to save lives, not take them.
Falcon, what would you do to see your sensei again?
Well, I've already killed a number of people, creatures to that end.
What's one more to save one you love?
I'm not a killer of innocence, if that's what you're getting at. But I have shed blood to try and find answers. Sure.
All my little thought experiment is illustrating. It only takes one step. Then perhaps you begin to walk, to run, to sprint down this path. If you've killed so many as he, what's another?
True.
Is there anything else that you would ask of me?
We have encountered these assassins from Ceylon. They wear this ring, so when in event of death, they leave no trace. How do we stop that?
Assuming it's a band of loyalty.
Sorry, Ron did not hear what you said.
Assuming this is a band of loyalty.
That's what it's called, a band of loyalty.
Yes.
Not surprising to keep the loose ends tied up. Normally occurs that makes sure that they die so they cannot be questioned.
Yes, precisely.
It would take a powerful magic to render a magical ring useless.
Such as maybe dispel magic?
That's what
More
I
powerful
think.
than this.
Oh.
Wait a second.
If dispel magic worked to dispel magic items, I'd be using it on the shit out of y'all.
So it needs to be something. Okay.
Magical items are a little more difficult to render
Right.
inoperable.
Roll like an intelligence roll or something? Or an
Sure.
arcana? 15?
It's gotta be some really powerful magic that's beyond any of you all.
Okay. Maybe I could do some research when I get to the Arcanist Assembly.
Wait. There was a court proceeding that we were involved in that they had brought dead people back and questioned them. If they were wearing a ring, would they still be able to answer the questions in the cone of truth situation? Like, I'm just trying to make sure that the court proceeding and the dead people we talked to were telling the truth.
All this ring does is ensure their death rather than capture, then nothing would stop, say, bringing them back to life or speaking to them beyond the plains.
Not a bad idea. If they die, we can just bring it back and ask them some questions. I don't know if that's a wizard spell, though.
Speak with dead or
Yeah, speak with dead.
what other questions do you have of me?
Have any others do you guys?
Do we feel like you answered all the questions about the Vin stuff?
To the best of his
anything-
ability. He may not know that much. I don't know. It's up to you.
Well, since you asked if we have any more questions, so there are people out there that look like me trying to kill me and my friends. This is different than the Black Knight guy. This is, well,
Is it?
it's me, I guess. But I don't get it. Do you get it? Why they're trying to kill me and what they want?
Perhaps you are all facets of the same gem. How many of there were you, do you know?
At least 3. Minimum. 4?
Oh, we killed one in the
Burn.
tavern,
It was 5.
and then one in forest.
Well, did that one run away?
Yeah, I can't remember if we killed them or they ran away.
And there were, was it 3, 4, 3? So 5, maybe 5 total, but the one escaped.
Somewhere between 3 and 5.
Assuming that's this one that you say survived, did kill some on their own.
Oh, but then when they die, Vin absorbs their essence, power.
Did I absorb it or they absorbed it? Okay. Not me, Vin. Other Vin. Bad Vin. I'm good Vin. They're bad Vin. When bad Vin died, the other bad Vin that was also there absorbed them, and it was like a bunch of bad Vins absorbing the other bad.
So
Is this
she
making
destroyed them and absorbed their power.
Yeah, which why we think they're trying to kill me and absorb me, but I don't know.
It's quite interesting. As you are most certainly Fae, not of this realm.
Mhm.
But you already knew this.
Yes.
You have different copies. Facets, I believe. All facets from the same gem. There are many gems that are important and across the plains. Perhaps there is one that is quite important from where you were born. Perhaps seek knowledge in this. As I mentioned, reach out to those who are from your realm.
How?
You will find a way amongst you and your friends.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Twig.
Ron has friends. Yeah, we could talk to them. It's
Oh,
probably a bad idea, but
Last time they
I think
said
everything's a bad idea, Bryn.
and I don't think it's a bad idea. I know it's a bad idea. Everybody
to
knows you
have-
don't talk to Fae. They're just not good to deal with.
You heard the Lich. I'm Faye.
Yeah, well,
You don't talk to me?
I didn't say I didn't talk to you. I just said maybe it's not a good idea. You're going to get me in trouble one of these days. But I accept this fate.
Well, I do have one last question.
Then it shall be the last question of your
Wait,
group.
wait. Does anyone else have any other questions?
No,
This is
I had one more. I had one more parting question.
Two more
Two
questions?
questions. It's like 1.5, really. It is like a very small. Mine is a very small question.
Okay.
Weak, I grow weary of our conversations. I do not have visitors often.
Well,
Oh, we could tell.
so this question's kind of weird, but I had a dream, or maybe it was a vision, or I don't. Anyways, I think a woman who may have been my mom, but I don't really know if it was my mom, was talking to me, and I kind of zoned out a little bit because that's what you do when moms talk to you. But I'm pretty sure I caught the tail end of that conversation, and she said I was a princess. But everyone in this realm, when I tell them I'm a princess and to address me as a princess, say give me papers. Do you know how to get papers of being a princess?
That was your last question.
Yeah, and I look
We
over
already
at
know someone
Brit.
that could forge you some princess papers.
I don't want the forged stuff. I want the real stuff. The people have to
Don't
bow to me
think-
for real.
I don't think the Fae keeps papers on titles.
You don't know that.
It is fair. I do not know.
Quite a frivolous question.
I mean, that's why when you said it was the last question, I panicked because it's not really a good last question. I was
They have a
just
good last
wondering.
question. Don't worry about it.
Proceed.
if we were needing to get in touch with you because we found some information, is there any way we could reach you, sort of long distance style? I have a spell for sending, but I am very limited on spell slots, so if you had any other means, I would be most grateful to learn them.
If you lack the power for frequent communication, if I were you, then I would save your strength for when you may most need it.
I just, was wondering if you had any sort of magical devices for communication, that sort of thing.
No. Not for you.
We have one, but it only works with our other friend. And also, we found out that our communications via this device were being listened to by the Baron, potentially. And that is what I'm worried about. If I try to contact you, will he be able to listen to me using my spell to contact you?
You believed that when Risa was using the sending spell, not the items, it was being tracked.
Right. I'm asking him if my sending spell is going to be tracked. That's why I wanted another option.
It depends if Salon finds you important enough.
I didn't even know I could do sending last time, so maybe they won't even think about it. Well, okay, that was all my questions. Thank you.
Perhaps they've already gotten what they wanted from that information. As it seems, they have sort of changed their tact lately.
It's true, I haven't really heard or seen of them in a while.
Because they perhaps have no longer use of us other than us, sticking into their business.
Leading them to Ixius and then Risa.
Are there any questions you have for us before we part ways?
What is it that you will do next after your foolish vampire hunting?
Well, we have to help some people thwart a plot to blow up a lot of people. That might come up next. We're not really sure. We're waiting to hear back about that job.
And we're gonna get a tattoo.
But then we'll probably cross that desert.
Kill the Baron.
Yes. Find Ixius. We can try to kill this Zavras, but it might be out of our abilities, but we will try.
It is most certainly outside of your abilities as you currently stand.
Well then, if you do not hear from us, you can probably assume we are dead.
What of you, Valken? Have you given up the search for your sensei so easily?
Not at all. It's still my ultimate goal. Although progress is slow.
Did we find out where the headquarters of this, what are they called?
Silent
He doesn't know.
The assassins? Oh, he doesn't know.
So, the assassins were surprised to see you have the blade and didn't know where the blade was. The last person who had the blade was your sensei. And you learned the information in Emberholm from the sensei there that he chucked it
He chucked it?
into the sea,
Oh.
got rid of it.
For some reason, I thought
The
he was up in
assassin?
Gordek or something.
There's a
Assassin
small...
Sensei said that, or
No, the sensei, the dragon. She knew him personally, your sensei.
yeah, I know she knew him, but didn't the assassin Sensei also mention something about him as well, as if they knew where he was or something?
They just said that they hope you find him, but it might be a stretch to think that they have him, because if they had your sensei, they would have the sword.
Well, I didn't view it as they had him. I kind of got the vibes that they had at least had some knowledge of where he was last or something. I don't know. They made it seem like they had at some point knowledge of his whereabouts. At least I took it as like,
They were
oh yeah,
mocking
we know
you.
where he could be, so I hope you find him.
They were mocking you.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, hope you find your sensei. Like, hope you find your dad who left for a pack of,
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
because that sword is very important to that order of assassins. And if they knew where he is, they would most certainly try and scoop him up to figure out where the sword is.
Yes,
Didn't
I
we
could've-
have some connection to Gordek? Do you remember? If
Yes. In the sea just south of Gordek is where he.
Oh, that's where he chucked it. I see. I'm slow.
That's
Sorry.
where they fished it out and then traded it to the traders.
Since I mentioned the name of the being in the sword to the Lich, would the Lich, would have had any information on maybe why that being might be important to Assassin Order? Or is that something
Yeah,
he
you
would
can
have
ask him.
Well, yeah, I guess as we're leaving, or we're leaving right now, or what are we doing?
Yeah, we're about to leave. He's done with us.
Your question about the sword is of intrigue to me. Some time ago, the Order had tricked your friend inside the sword in order to wield his power. They are quite renowned for assassinations.
Okay, makes sense. I just wondered why this one might be so particularly important. Seems like you refer to them as a lowly servant of some kind.
The power of any demon is much greater than those of just mortal.
Sounds right to me.
Return with more information on anything that we have discussed previously, and I shall reach out if I find anything else of interest. For
Sounds
now,
good to me.
I will take my leave, and so shall you. Please step inside the circle.
Very well.
Oh, okay.
When you find the circle that you arrived in this area in the back, he leaves and floats back up the stairs upwards, and the apprentice comes back in. Somebody was working. We will be taking you back down. And then he casts the spell, and you're back down at the base of the onyx spire to traverse the long hallway. And as you are making your way back out, you cross skeletons clad in armor, ghouls. You pass by one creature who's floating above the ground, sort of milky white covered eyes, sharp teeth, and several stalks coming out, each of which another pale milky globe on the end
Wait, what?
as it makes its way past you.
Can I roll to see if I know what that was?
Sure.
What would that be?
Is the assistant guy still leading us out?
You're passing these things as they're coming in.
I rolled a natural 20, but I'm not sure what modifier that would be.
Nature's fine.
Religion.
Nature? Okay.
24.
24.
This being is some sort of beholderkin. However, it is long past dead and is seemingly risen again.
Whoa. He has undead beholder babies.
Don't mess with the Lich, is what that means.
And
Mhm.
you know, just you thought that it's kind of like, you know, you see it and you're like, I thought beholders would be bigger, but then you realize that there are many beholder kin of varying sizes and strengths.
Yeah, it's like related to them, right? But not like a beholder.
There are many different kinds.
Okay.
You make your way out, and this sort of doorway forms out of the stone as if it was chiseled there in the beginning. Then you make your way out onto the barren grounds of the island of the Onyx Spire. And the apprentice brings you back to the same small boat that is being piloted by a crew of skeletons as he brings you back to the shores of Fourcross. So after a day's journey, and when you get close, the skeletons disappear below deck, and you coast to the docks in the harbor of Fourcross, where all of the shipyards continue to lay silent in fear of bombardment from Ramcrown. And that is where we'll take our break this evening.
Oh boy.
Don't go anywhere, friends. Just go grab some snacks, stretch your appendages, and we'll be back here in just
We
a
just
little
learned
bit. So
much. I think my brain's
know.
gonna explode.
Lord drop.
don't go anywhere. See you, BRB.